Everyone. Welcome to Curious Sports Pulls. My name is Gabriel. We'll be joined here momentarily by Mr. E-Rock himself. A lot to get to. I should probably come up with a better intro to these videos, but we'll get to that another day. Kidding aside, there is a lot to get to. I mean, the NBA Finals are here, and especially for the NBA, that is what we all look forward to. That's what we wait for. I mean, right? The large, and this is an issue that I think needs to be solved in terms of there needs to be more buy-in to the regular season itself. So that's how I view it. But in general, but this is why the NBA Finals mean so much, and this is why people tune into the NBA Finals because for a large due to large part, that was not a good sentence, but for right in large part, a lot of NBA casuals won't tune in until the playoffs, and then even there are those that don't really aren't interested until the NBA playoffs. I would say particularly this year, just because of how the playoffs have kind of shaken out. There hasn't been a lot of household names, right? There hasn't been the some of the regular really good NBA series that we've seen in past years. Let's just call the spade a spade. But we're also going to get to Dan Hurley, the Los Angeles Lakers, here in a moment. But first, what do the individual teams themselves need to do if they are going to go on a 7-game series winning spree? Um, that was not how you should probably phrase that, but that doesn't matter for now. Let's start first. What do they do well? And what's their path to victory? So first of all, they're the favorites. Although I have seen there's been a lot of action on the Dallas money line for tonight, but most people are considering um, the Boston Celtics to be favorites, and that's for a reason. Now on this show and on other platforms, shout out to Apex Sports, we have consistently said, and shout out Scoutcast Media Hub, we have consistently said that the Boston team, sure, they're good, but have they been tested enough? And especially in the main thing that we're all worried about with this team in particular, um, has this team had to execute late enough times? Can we trust them late? Particularly with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, have they figured out that main thing that people are criticizing them for, which is not being able to execute down the stretch and shrinking up in big moments. Shrinking in big moments. I guess you would shrink up. You don't shrink down. But anyway, forget about my English struggles today. Right, that's really the main thing that you have to ask about this Boston team. Everything else they do pretty well. I mean, they're together. The nucleus is together. I know they you bring in someone like Drew Holiday who kind of fits in to any scheme on any team, I would argue, but it's been a really good fit with this Boston Celtics team and someone who doesn't mind being the third or fourth option offensively on any given night. But also as someone who you could trust to be your primary option on any given night. And then his leadership, his overall poise, what he does defensively is what impresses me the most personally. And I think that's the case with a lot of people. So, um, pretty efficient, good three ball shooting team. And I wouldn't say their bench is a weakness. I wouldn't go that far. I would say it could be deeper, but particularly in the playoffs anyway, where some coaches just go 7 deep, I would say the bench is adequate. It's not something that they can lean on, but I would say the bench will be good enough to keep them in games or even possibly win them a game or two. But that's truly to be determined. So I don't know even if I'm putting that as a strength or a weakness. But you know who can help clarify this situation? Do you know who could maybe bring a little bit of substance to this conversation and actually make it a conversation? Hey, Rock, what's up?
I'll do my best. Thank you for the kind words. for clarity, I will take off my mirror shades since you.
All good. So
Since
I,
it
I
distracts.
just, I just, oh, you're good, man. I started. We're gonna go first, the Boston side, and then Dallas. So, just in general, where we think about this team and what's the path to victory for Boston to win this 7-game series.
All right, we're starting with Boston. Okay. In that case, this would come down. I'll take my feelings. I'll take my feelings on who I'm choosing or betting on or everything out of it.
Yeah.
I know.
For now. For now.
I just want everyone, because everyone that listens, they're gonna. And I appreciate the viewership of both of our networks here. So I'm gonna just disclaimer. I'll be impartial on this. This is going to come down to straight up. We know that the key for both this goes for both teams, so it's like a Venn diagram essentially.
Okay.
So the middle part of it is the backcourt on both teams. 2 stars each team, backcourt. I mean, I'm counting Tatum. I know he's a forward, but we're going to call him back. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you get the gist. Yeah, so this is going to come down to the backcourt stars. That's in the middle of the Venn diagram. And this actually goes for both teams, but I'll stick with just the Celtics at this moment with their players. I've gotten into conversations several times the past few days, which is, championship weeks, plural. Chris Schnapp is not going to I think he's going to be a null factor. I think he's going to be a decoy mainly because, or at least a deterrent from the rim for rim protection, and for offense, he'll probably spend a lot more time on the perimeter. I predict. I don't know that. I haven't hit up Joe Mazzulla to ask him or anything. But no, not today at least. Even though he's only 2 years older than me. Damn it. So, although one of us actually might have a job and the other one may not, actually, depending on how the series goes, he'll still be better off. He'll still be better off than me. So really, if Chris Schnapp is going to be a deterrent and a decoy on defense because of height, and he's going to be a perimeter supposedly, because I don't think he's going to be he's going to get pushed around by oh my God, I just blanked on his name. The rookie from Duke. Oh my God, I just really blanked. Who plays on Dallas, I mean.
Lively?
Thank you. Yeah, Lively Jr., Derek Lively Jr. It's because he went to Duke. I mean, that's obviously why.
Fair enough.
Yes. It's like, so he's going to be the one. He'll push him around. I don't care how tall Schnaps is, man. He's going to push him around. So their best bet is going to be like Al Horford and him basically camping out. One's a geriatric, one's a stiff on offense. So it's going to, the outlier of both teams is how they use their bigs. In the Celtics case, the strategy on offense, and they need to, I'm so glad I'm getting to use this word. It would behoove them. I love that word. It behooves them to usually it was the Mavericks that it behooved in the previous series to slow things down. It would behoove the Mavericks to speed things up in this series, but sticking to the Celtics, it would behoove them to slow things down, because if they want to keep everyone on the court, they're gonna need Schnapp, and they want Schnaps to stay in the game. Sorry, I need my back support here. Oh, I'm an old man. It would behoove them to slow it down. They do not want Horford and Pritchard and Schnaps to be running up and down the court, because then it turns the game into a 4-on-2. Well, 4-on-3, because I forgot. I'll give credit to Derek White. I'll give credit where credit's due. So yeah. Oh, and Drew Holiday. Okay, but either way, but they're not all going to be in the court usually at the same time. They're not going to be they're not going to be on those 4 aren't going to be on the court all at the same time usually, because they have to have two-ish bigs on there. I would highly, unless Missoula is a fool, which I don't think he is. I don't think he's a great coach, but I think he's not. I don't think he's a fool. He's not going to have White, Holiday, and J out there because you're going to be undersized. Even against Dallas, who's not huge, they're not bigly. They're still going to out physical him. People, I've had the luxury, and it's a privilege to watch PJ for all these years in Charlotte. You do not want to underestimate his strength. He played, because we were so always undersized, he played 4 for us. He even played 5 occasionally, which was, unfortunate for him. Yeah, I know. Well, injuries.
Poor guy.
Well, he held his own, actually. It wasn't that bad, because whenever Cody Zeller got hurt, or then it was Plumlee, and all we had was like Nick Richards and stuff, which, I don't have a problem with it. Either way, I've had the privilege of watching him. He holds his own. The dude is 6'9". He played center in college. Power forward, center, whatever you want to call it. But he played power forward, but now he plays a good small forward role. He can hold his own in the middle against Tatum. And they're probably not even going to put him on today. I don't know who they're going to put on Tatum. That'll be interesting to see. I'm going to be very curious. I would bet they put PJ on him, PJ Washington on him. And they also still got, all their new acquisitions. This is going to be so that's the Boston side of it. I mean, so I'm going to stop there because of that. We're talking about Boston, but that's what it's going to be. Yeah. So you need to in a nutshell, slow the pace down, establish what roles you want to have and what minutes you want Schnapps doing. And on offense, at least. And that's where it is.
Okay. No, I like that. And it actually works out how you broke it down. So it doesn't matter that you went a little bit on the Dallas side of things. All good. It's because instead of going strictly now Dallas, obviously say anything you want about Dallas, right? That goes without saying here. But I'm going to rephrase it in terms of this. If we're going starting 5 versus starting 5, who do you like better? And which bench do you think is going to have the greater impact between the Celtics and the Mavericks?
Very, very good prompt. Very good prompt. The starting one is the bench is easy to me. Well, it's actually not as easy as was. All right, because of availability and health, or conditioning, or the condition of their players, the bench is a lot more of a push than it was. And on paper, it's easily the Celtics have a better roster starting and, maybe not starting, but on the bench, Celtics, I still would give the edge to the Celtics on the bench. But not by as much as people would think, but especially in the backcourt, they have the depth. Starting, just because of the cohesiveness and the way that the momentum that Luka, Magic, and Riri are playing right now. I like the way they're playing more than I like the way it tastes. The consistency of those two compared to the consistency of JJ. So not to be confused with JJ Redick. So JBJT. I like the Mavs by a slim margin on by the width of a pit hair, and by the on the starting lineup, and I was going to say Cavs, the C's on the bench. That's what I'd go with. Coaching, okay. I'd go with. I know you didn't ask it, but coaching, I'd go with Jason.
Oh no,
Kidd.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I go with Jason Kidd easily on the coaching.
Okay,
side.
And why?
He's made better adjustments. He's made better adjustments. He knows how to do rotations a lot better, which is why even though his bench is not as deep, it's not just in-game adjustments, which has actually been really impressive. It's in between game adjustments. It's like, and he's very flexible, and he's very I think I don't know them like that. I know for a fact that especially Kyrie, which is the biggest part of relationships, they love Jason Kidd. And Jason Kidd has the advantage of he's played in this championships.
Yeah.
And now he's coaching in them, and he's not shook. I'm really impressed with him. I love Jason Kidd. I do. Specifically, I like New Jersey Nets Kidd more, but I still liked him on the Mavs though. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But that's where I'd give my and Missoula again. Nothing against him, and he has had experience in this situation now. The only one that's actually won it. Each team has one person on their team who's won a chip. That is Kyrie, that's Riri, and that's Drew Holiday. So that's a push too. So that's where I'll go with it.
And then final thing before in terms of like Dallas Mavericks, but this is again it's something of a crossover. But you and I haven't talked about this, at least on air. I don't think even in private, but not that matters. Kyrie Irving, and is this going to be something, do you think? Is it nothing? Is it just going to be like talking points from us in terms of, right, he was with the Celtics, it didn't end well, and then kind of what you think on what he's been saying about how his time there ended?
I think especially because he's already come out and what do they call it? He's leaned into it. He's already kind of like met it head on, and he did it with actual. And it's so weird to say this about Kyrie after all these years. He met it with like humility and grace.
It's a good point. That's a really good point. Go on.
It was so it kind of takes the teeth out of the Celtics vitriol, I should say. It only went. This is a big, as Jeff said yesterday, this is a big nothing burger with nothing fries, and with a nothing soda, like a flat soda essentially. This is like nothing. It's going to be the Celtics fans that try to make it something. Good for them. They can try. I don't think he's going to even care. He's taking the teeth out of it. He's taking the teeth out of it essentially, and yeah, I mean the narrative.
Yeah, I think so.
The narrative is more about him now in a positive, which again, so weird to say, in a positive light than it is about him in his history. Now, if he was playing the Nets, which is even funnier, which is, and I don't know what universe I'm living in. If that's the case, I'm in the multiverse. If that's the case, and then if I'm in the multiverse, they're probably still located in New Jersey, and the Chargers are in San Diego, which actually would be better.
Raiders in Oakland.
That'd be preferable. Yeah, and the Bobcats never existed, and the Hornets were always there. So I would have to give this. Yeah, this is more about positive views on Kyrie.
Yeah,
and it's going to be how they Mark. It's going to be, and ironically, it's going to be less about Mark Cuban. Why didn't you ever say that about the Mavericks? Less about Cuban, and there's no Cuban or Dirk in the sentence of it's going to be more about Luka and Kyrie, and it's going to be about the GM and the coach, how they've all come together. Now, Cuban, of course, is going to put himself in there because it's Cuban.
Yeah.
He's not Jerry Jones. He's not going to be Jerry Jones because but he'll be there holding the damn trophy. I'm sure he'll put his picture on the Shark Tank with the trophy or something like that. He'll be sitting there hugging and making out with it or something. So
yeah, let's hope so.
He's. I'll give him this, man. He knows how to recruit too. He takes people out to his club and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He parties like a younger man. He goes hard on the Patron apparently, which is kind of whack because that's such an overrated tequila. Everyone out there, such an overrated tequila. Come on, get some Herradura. Get some Tres Generaciones. That's how you actually pronounce it. It's not Tres Generations. It's Tres Generaciones. All right. So that's where I'm at with that's a nothing burger. Unlike unlike Mark Cuban's restaurants, that is a big nothing burger, nothing fries, and a flat soda. So
I like that, E-Rock. Really, really nice. Really, really nice take there, breaking that down. Really nice job, E-Rock. First, we're gonna get into our picks for today. But first, a word from E-Rock. So before he says what he's about to say, it has to be said. This is not about to be paid promotional advertising. This isn't a product placement at all. Instead, this is my good friend E-Rock. He's been doing something on his own, so we're just giving him a chance to share what his new and latest venture in the gambling world, and
Thank you.
an opportunity that you could or could not choose to take advantage of. That's up to you. But again, this is not paid promotion for this, and this is not a product placement, sponsorship, or endorsement from anyone. Go ahead, E-Rock.
Well said. Well said. At least it's not yet. Maybe someday. But right now, this is just, plugging a possible venture. And yes, obviously,
no, I don't mean to cut you off right away, but no, I'm saying for this YouTube channel, this is not at all. This is for YouTube.
Oh, no, not for this one. This is separate. This is a separate thing.
No,
this is not
so no. I'm saying what I'm saying now is for YouTube. So this is not a paid promotion. This is not a product placement. This is not a sponsorship, and this is not an endorsement. This is my good friend E-Rock. Just sharing one of his latest opportunities. Go ahead.
Yes, YouTube and Google consequently, because I think Google still runs YouTube. So no, this is just me. This is just me talking, baby. This is just words. This is just words for me. A word salad that is actually not a nothing salad. It's a delicious salad. It's a very good salad. I want to say shout out to my new venture that I am participating in brand ambassadoring. I don't even know if ambassadoring is actually a word. Brand ambassador is what the title is. It's called, if it's not a word, I just made it one. Brand ambassadoring. It's called Bet Stamp. I actually, I really do believe in this product. I didn't even know it existed, but it's opened up the world to bet. There are so many betting sports books. I never heard of BetR. I never heard of Bet365. I've used them in the past couple of days. I've actually succeeded. And then I also just took an L because I decided to get too big for my britches, as they say in the South. Thank you very much, Minnesota Twins. I thought I was going to get a good money line. You were going to shock the world beating the Yankees for once in a million tries. That didn't happen. I looked down and it was 9-2 or something. Like, great.
Yeah.
They just don't do well in the Bronx. They do not do well in the Bronx, man. All right. So, and by the way, I blame you, the fans out there. You were supposed to give me baseball advice. Give me the comments. Show me the money. All right. But soon I will actually, on an independent venture, I will have a promo code starting next week that I will put out on my channels or my social media platforms separately. And if you use that, you will actually be able to match, you will be able to double along with extra bonuses on bets, parlays, and other such. Bet Stamp, it is just like Travelocity or a StubHub. It is an in-between, a middleman, if you will. It'll show you the best bets of every major and non-major sporting books. So check it out. I'll get back to you with the promo code when I have it. But if you're skeptical, it's got over 5,000 downloads and counting, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much for letting me fit that in.
Yeah, of course, and that gives us right into a great segue.
Yay!
This is why I wanted to put that here.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Oh my god.
It's wood. Don't worry, we're good.
Little pirate action over there. So it's Celtics favored by 6.5. And I don't know if you heard this or if you were on yet in the waiting room, but the Mavericks money line is getting a lot of action right now. But you do at this situation what you will. Luka Doncic is GTD officially, as is Olivier, and Greg Brown is of course OFS. For the Boston Celtics, there is not an injury report, so all is good there. What are you kind of citing here with the spread over under and any player props, please?
I love that. Well, here's the first thing I love is this. It's like literally juxtaposition on strategies on the report, because we know Snops is hurt. we know he's going to play. So that's like juxtaposition, and we know Luka's gonna play, but they put him on there, which is just like, oh, maybe he's got a sore leg still. And I'm sure he does, but I trust his sore
Probably.
leg. I trust his sore leg compared to Chris Schnapp's though. He's not 7'4" on janky knees. Having so he's not that I know of. So good job to each team on trying to psych each other out, and then you basically just canceled each other out doing it. So that's cool. I love the fact that someone was asking me about this last night, as per you. Like people hear what I do podcasts on, et cetera, and they're always like, "Oh, well," and God, everyone loves betting now. Now that you can say it out loud, everyone's like, "Oh, I love betting. I love parlays." I'm like, you just like the word parlay. I know you just like the word parlay. You watch too much Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, you do realize you're going to lose so much money when you're doing all these parlays, but we're going to get to that. That is going to be a show. Actually, I'm going to make an episode. I'm actually putting this down right now as a Friday treat tomorrow on Scoutcast Media. Smart. Tune in because we are going to because this will be perfect just in time for Stanley Cup and the rest of the 2.5 weeks of NBA action. I'm going to explain the do's and don'ts, the obvious ones, and some of the nuances. And so is Gabe. We're going to teach our friend as a guinea pig for this project how to bet. And in the process, everyone out there can learn the terminology because I know sports books. It's not like a pick 'em. There's a lot of stuff in there and it's kind of intimidating. It's confusing. We're going to show you how to optimize that. So we'll get into it. Me and Gabe have been doing it for a hot minute now. It's really not that. I'm not going to say it's not that hard. It's still betting. So I mean, you're going to be putting money down. So we're going to make sure you do the safest bets. And if you want to take risks, smart risks. All right. Moving forward. I told the guy last night where I was going to go with this is this line's going to, he's like, oh yeah, the line's like right here. This line's going to change. It's going to change again before the game starts. I guarantee it's going to. Because last night, Mavs were at 210. Now they're at 190. The Celtics have moved from, they were like at 5 when this first started. Then they moved to like 9 or like 8 or 8, depending on the book you look. That was because they didn't know the condition of Schnapps. I'm officially abbreviating him just Chris Schnapps to Chris, and then now it's just Schnapps. So Schnapps, that's before he was going to play. I think he's benign when it comes to this. I tell everyone this. Until I see him on the court and his conditioning and his minutes, we're gonna stick with nothing burgers and flat sodas here and unsalted fries because with no ketchup and because you're gonna just have cotton mouth essentially. So this is gonna be I got the Mavs covering this game. I don't want to go with that money line because here's the thing, and we'll explain this more tomorrow when we get more in the nuances of it. 190 is not that much of a payout. It's a 1.9 payout. So you bet $10, you get $19 if you win. It's not worth it. You might as well just go with the spread. The Mavs covering the spread. The money is over as the total here. If we're just going on the line, because this is just what you would call the line, everyone out there. The total on the over-under is where you probably, because you can do alternate ones. It makes you more money and go less or higher, or under or less or more. This is actually intriguing, Gabe. 216, because I don't know how the pace is going to be set. It really just depends on who's setting the pace. If the Mavs are trying to speed it up, I got this going over. If the Celtics can slow it down, I got it going under. But if my gut tells me and my instincts and my everything I've looked at, this comes down to the Celtics don't play that well at home in the playoffs or haven't so far. They're inconsistent, and the Mavs play better on the road. So give me that team who's playing better with the trends. I'm taking the Mavs covering 6.5. I'm taking the total as more or over for everyone out there. That is my take. Give me one sec. I'll let you. Why don't you go ahead and go with the line while I pick out a prop.
Yeah, sure. And I'll go back to back. So yeah, I mean, you and me read that the same way in terms of the spread. I like Mavericks plus 6.5. game that I think will be close, and the Mavericks could win. Wouldn't shock me, but Celtics are newsflash. The Celtics are still a good team, even though I've been one of the more critical voices of them. So I'm
Yeah,
not that bold. I'm not that bold to say Mavericks win. Wouldn't be a shock, but Mavericks plus 6.5, I think is pretty reasonable. Now I want to surprise you, or I hope to surprise you with my player props. One of them at least. My
please.
safer one, is Kristaps Porzingis under 15.5 points scored. That's at minus 105 at the moment.
The safe.
I'm taking the under.
It's a smart play. I'd say it's a smart play.
So that one's obviously not the shock. Here's my and I don't know. I'll let you speak to it.
Okay.
But here's my one that I think may surprise you. I'm going Al Horford rebounds at
That is
over 5.5.
wow.
Yeah, and I'm getting that at plus 120 at the moment. And I know what you're saying. And I've heard your criticisms of Al Horford, or not criticisms, but just how how he plays right now. Right.
It's reality.
I've heard your description of it. But let me just say, Erock.
Explain.
Let me just say, Erock.
Yes.
Here are his rebounding totals over the past couple of games. So first of all, over the season, 6.4 rebounds averaged. Love that for this. And remember, the number is only at 5.5. So rebounds dating back. Let's just start with the last Pacers game. 8, 5, 10, 6, 15, 6, 7, 2, 8. So out of the past, how many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of the past 9 games, he hasn't hit the over twice, and in one of those times, he would have missed it by a half. So I actually think this is going to be, at the very least, this is a bet that you're going to be like, okay, you're going to be in it till the end. Particularly depending on like a foul situation at the end, missed free throws. We just need someone out there to go grab secure the glass or try to get a board. So this is a play that for sure is going to be alive. And more likely than not, I think it's going to comfortably hit over. All right, go ahead, York.
It's intriguing. I will give you that. That is a very intriguing, very intriguing number. And I like that you had some receipts to go along with it. And to everyone out there, what I call him is the geriatric, because it's not even clever. It's not even like I'm stating facts. He's just older, and what he does on offense is he posts up, he camps out, and might as well be doing his taxes out there. He literally just posts up and chills over at the corner area. And if you're not if he's scoring like he did against the Pacers that one time, you have no one to blame but yourself, because you know where he's going to be. I'm surprised about the rebounding, because again, when you're out there, because he's not going to get offensive rebounding if he's standing in the corner. Maybe I guess he's getting him on the defensive side. Here's this weird one. PrizePicks is doing this weird kind of promotion bet, and which means I don't trust it. Well, I trust this number. That's why I'm not going to go with it. But it says they're doing a special on Jason Tatum. He's going to go more than 0.5 points in a game, because it's originally set 27.5. Yeah, which I don't trust that, because it seems like a sucker's something that even if it's like, what do you just give me money? Essentially, it's like, what am I making $1 off of my $10 bet? And like, no, it's not.
Wait, sorry, how much for over on his points?
0.5. It's over. Yeah, I'm like, so unless I don't know how he'd score a half. I mean, so he's going to score 1 point. I mean, I don't know. It's like one of those. Here, I'll show you.
So it is no, I get it. It's just a promotional then.
I don't, but it's
just so that you get a bet to win. What's the payout?
I'm trying to look. It won't show me. That's the thing about it. Let me see.
Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm seeing, I'm not looking at your phone. I think that's all it is to get someone to make that initial bet.
It's an extra point. It's an extra 0.3. It's not worth it. I'm gonna take that off now. So here's the one I would really go with, because I mean, they're not just gonna give me.
That's how they get you, Erock. That's how they get you.
Oh yeah, I don't fall for that ish. I did it with Steph Curry with those times, and ironically, the one time I did, he's supposed to make more than 1.5 threes in a game. The one time he went 1 for 10. I'm like, I don't trust them. What do they know? What do you know? They know everything.
Yep. Yep.
I like this though. I do like this. There's the schnapps bet you referred to. Where'd it go? Oh, I like this one. Daniel Gafford. I think he will eclipse 8 points tonight.
Oh.
I think he'll have it like 12 points. I think
does it have a payout there or no?
That's a good payout. That actually, it doesn't have it specifically, but it's a good payout. My guess is
I forget. I always forget because you're on which app again right now?
This is Prize Picks because it's way more user friendly for people that aren't comfortable with it. But they actually put these are the lines that are out there. But it's just that they do it differently. But
that's a good pick though.
I mean, they don't have it for PJ, which I would have probably gone with, but PJ is going to draw more attention, I feel like, than Gafford's going to, because he's been a perimeter threat. So, but Gafford he can play face to the basket and still get rebounds. So I'm confident in that. He's been part of that trade bundle, and he's really paid off. So,
cool. All right,
that's what I'm doing for this. Yes,
we have to move on, but first, again, this is not. I always have to look at how I have to phrase this. This is not paid promotion. What I'm about to say, this is not product placement. This is not sponsorship or an endorsement. Instead, we are going to shout out a friend of the show's, and we're going to have E-Rock just tell us a little bit about this small business owner and what he does. But get him gone detailing and Bubba J's BBQ, and we have the number right here, 336-582-6041. Go ahead, tell us a little bit about your friend E-Rock. Again, we're just shouting out a friend.
Yes. Disclaimer. Yes. Google. We are just literally Google YouTube or Google Tube. This is just shouting out. Go, hey, get him gone. By the way, I'm encouraging him to get rid of the E and just say get him gone. But for now, it's get him gone detailing. So you got a scratch, you got an itch that needs scratching or a scratching, but you need it waxed. You need it cleaned. You need it finishing on it. You want to get a little sheen to your car or your ride. It can even be a motorbike. It can even be a motorcycle. Go over and talk to my boy Jordan, a.k.a. his nickname is Bug, but call him Jordan. That's more like for us. I guess. But ask for Jordan and tell him E-Rock and Gabe sent you from Scoutcast and from Curious Sports Pulse. And he will hook you up. That is his number, 336-582-6041. And I'll have it posted on I will post it on my Twitter as well, my Twitter X, whatever. And also officially I want to alert everyone. This is my new officially have transferred over my handle on Twitter to it's not on-site. I wanted to make sure I eased everyone in from on-site take to that. Now it is Scoutcast Media, and I will write it in the I'll write it in the next comments. How about that? But it's Scoutcast _ capital M _ hub. Scoutcast M hub, and it's spelled like the way that it is on my page. So that is my it's just an update, but shout out to Jordan and check him out. That's exactly it right there. Thank you, executive producers. Thank you. By the way, E-Rock has a capital R, but that's all right. We're just gonna but it's all good. It's all good. That's not the important part. The important part is the handle. There you go. All right. Thank you, executive producers. All right. They work very hard behind the scenes. That is officially it. So, and you will find Jordan's information on there as soon as I get the chance to put it on there. So tell him Gabe and E-Rock sent you. Thank you. And again, this disclaimer, this is not a paid promotion. It's just a friend.
Yeah, all good. So moving for our last topic of the day. So we've been calling JJ Redick to the Los Angeles Lakers, and then yesterday we see that we were bamboozled. Just like in my original rant about this, there's just a whole bunch of foul play and bamboozlement going on. And Dan Hurley is reportedly someone who just received a pretty large offer from the Los Angeles Lakers to be their head coach. Kind of, what's your reaction? Do you like it? If he were to go, is this actually a thing? Is he even considering it? Do you think? What are your thoughts?
This is the best strategic move and decision that the Lakers have made in a long time. Since they hustled Shaq away from the Magic, and since they got Phil Jackson on the rebound from Chicago, and well, I would say they didn't really get Kobe. Kobe didn't want to play for Charlotte, so he kind of twisted our arm. But I still love Kobe, so I won't hold it against him anymore. God love you, Kobe. But this is the best move they made in a long time. They should have. I'm glad they kept it under wraps. I think that Jeannie Buss basically said to Pelinka, said, "You keep your mouth shut, or I'm going to shut it for you." And this is a great hire, isn't it? And I think he is. I think he's heavily considering it. This goes back into, and we'll get into this on the next program as well. This is ramifications from what's happening, the momentous shifts that are actually happening, the monumental shifts, whatever, the big shifts that are happening in college sports with the conference rumblings, changings, NILs, and all this stuff. But it also is, Dan Hurley apparently has been made it clear for a long time, not specifically the Lakers, that he wants to take on a different challenge, and he wants to cement his name, and his goal was to get to the NBA and succeed there. And honestly, this may be the best. This is going to sound so weird because I've been saying I wouldn't want to be a Lakers coach, but the power that they are entrusting to him, the deal that they're going to get, and the respect he already has, this is not like putting a coach, like saying JJ going there would not have been a good idea for him because he's a first-time coach ever.
Yeah.
Other than youth league, it's like putting me in there. He's got a better basketball. It's a very nice one, basketball acumen than I for sure do. But Dan Hurley is a proven commodity. He's solidified in high school, solidified in college. He's easily the best coach in college, and he's awesome. He's wild as hell. It would behoove him and the Lakers. Mutually. The only reason he wouldn't go anywhere because his wife apparently has his parents live in Jersey City. His wife's parents live in the East. But his brother coaches in the West. He's very family oriented, but he's gonna, but all of his kids have moved out of the house. This is like that time of your life where he's like, hey, I'm getting paid a bunch of money. I'm going to be, they're going to sign to a long-term deal. So his job will be secure. Unlike most Lakers coaches, it's better weather. I wouldn't live in LA, but hey, it's not Stores, Connecticut. No offense to Stores, Andre. I apologize. So yeah, I think it's a good move for both teams or both sides. And I think he's going to take it.
Oh, hang on, Eric.
I know. Here we go.
So we have Dirty Ape Gangster. Who's the GOAT, LeBron or MJ? This is awesome. First of all, shout out to you, Dirty Ape Gangster, listening to us on the Twitch. E-Rock, go ahead, take this one.
You don't want to take this?
Brief. Keep it briefish. Oh no, I'll respond. I'll let you. We'll have a little bit of a back and forth, but keep it semi brief, please.
I'm surprised you even brought this up. You just did this to appease the masses, huh? All right. There's no secret of who I think the GOAT is, and I don't think it's the GOAT. Oops, snap. I'm the GOAT, obviously, but in this case, oh man, it's my dude. It's Royal Airness. It's Michael, man. It's Michael Jordan. Notice how when he wrote GOAT, only one of those are in caps, and the other one's in lower caps. So, or not the lower cap, the lowercase. Excuse me. I'm fumbling today. The words. MJ, 6 titles, undefeated. I know everyone's gonna say it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. He's actually won Defensive Player of the Year. He's also been on several first team all defense. Plays both sides of the ball better than LeBron. LeBron is, I think, the second best, which is not an insult. There's been hundreds, tens of thousands of NBA players over the years.
Hang on.
Yeah, no, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, so let's first read his thing. But NJ was a shady guy who was caught with underage girls. Mr. Dirty Ape Gangster. That doesn't have any bear. So at least on this platform, when we talk GOAT or when we talk basketball, regardless of the league, we more or less try to keep to the on the court stuff. Now, does this play a part? Right? Does the decision play a part in any GOAT conversation? To an extent, but I would say that for us at least, that's about less than 3% of what we're going to talk about. In terms of what we're bringing in. I do love how you're making your claim of who the GOAT is and how that was your rebuttal to everything E-Rock said. So shout out to you. Go ahead, E-Rock, and finish your thought, and I'll give my thought again. Semi-brief, please.
No, I'm pretty much done. I'm pretty much done, but I will respond to this. I'm not familiar with the underage girl thing. I think that was more Kobe's thing. Now he is a cradle robber when it comes to his older age. He dates and marries younger women. Not familiar with the underage incident, though. But that's all I got. I'll stick away from that.
Yeah.
I'll veer away. Gambling.
I'll just show what he said. I don't care. He says knowing him liking underage is what helped him on the court, though. I would say normally I tell people I'd love to hear your reasoning. I'm not sure I want to in this case at all. And again, we're kind of focused. Love that you're commenting. Love how you're coming to the defense of either LeBron or anti-Jordan. Very interesting take, very unique take. I'll give you that. Again, I tend to stick more with the basketball side. So E-Rock, you made your case for MJ. Here's why I view LeBron as the GOAT.
Cool.
And I'll admit, before I even start talking, I have watched both in terms of I've watched their full games, but obviously I was born in 96. So obviously I grew up with LeBron on my television screen, and I when I was watching television and I didn't have that chance. I didn't have that in the case with MJ. So I'll admit that there's that bias from my perspective. But as best as I can, I try to study the past. And before we go that, regardless of B-ball, I think Ian is tweeting that t-shirt. So it's not really a t-shirt, but no, I'm kidding. The t-shirt underneath.
There's a t-shirt under it.
Yeah, there's a t-shirt. But for me, LeBron is the GOAT because of everything that he's not. If you take everything in terms of basketball, everything that he's not an A+ at, he's at worst a B+. And I think all of the criticisms of him are just he's been under such a microscope that they're so overblown. Yeah. And that if everyone was held to that same standard, I think everyone would fall short. If we were to nitpick some of the things LeBron isn't good at / some of his resume shortcomings. But what he has done, particularly on those bad Cavs teams, man.
Yeah.
Those bad Cavs teams. That's what honestly impressed me the most.
Yeah.
So I wasn't as impressed when he won the rings in Miami, for example. Yeah. I just flatly wasn't.
No.
And so for me, that's why for me, I don't rings are a part of the equation for me, but I don't hold as much weight as a lot of people do. And so for what the totality, the longevity, the overall skill, the completeness of him being a player, his IQ, that is for me why LeBron is the GOAT in terms of a pure basketball sense. And now we have Jordan calling me old at almost 30. Yeah, I'm about to turn 28, my guy. And then he says, I think you can take my something, but Gabe
Yeah,
can
you
watch
should
us.
do
I
that.
appreciate you. I just had that comment. I
I know.
just want to shoot,
I know.
and
I was going to say something like,
you
no,
tried
no.
stopping me. You tried
I
stopping me.
tried.
Yeah,
I tried.
appreciate you, Dirty Ape Gangster. And now I think I see why you have your name on Twitch. So appreciate you, man.
Just made you,
I'm
made you
not responsible for what I don't think about before I say it. But go ahead,
I'm
Erock, if you
going
want
to give
to.
you a sign. I'm going to be like this next time. Like, no, don't do it. No.
You know what I'll do is for something like that, right? We can technically show the comment / not show the comment. I can rephrase it in a way so that we don't get shut down. But
No,
Erock,
no,
if you
no.
want to respond to anything I specifically said, go ahead. I don't
Yeah, I
mind a
don't.
good troll job, by the way. So I'm
No,
loving
no, no.
this. Go on.
Oh, no. Yes.
We have another comment before you
No.
go. Watch. This is what I mean, Eric. This is what I mean. So we have another comment. If you're watching to us on the Twitch, personally, I think KD clears both, and Erock is someone who he enjoys watching on YouTube. So go ahead, Erock. What do you think?
I'm both flattered and a little twitchy now. Literally, I'm a little twitchy, and no, there's pun intended. But I'm also flattered. Thank you, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, Ape Gangster, I know. Appreciate you, Jordan. Yeah, Gabe is apparently old. I don't know. This weird
Gotta be
comments today.
28.
Yeah,
Gotta be
hell,
28.
yeah. Well, happy almost birthday. I guess
Yeah.
no. Here's the thing. I agree with everything you said. He's handled it with. He's had a lot to handle. But you know the reason why he's got all that pressure on him, which is unfair. Maybe it's unfair. Maybe it's not. Again, shout out to him is because Jordan was the first player to become a brand, like an actual brand. I mean, yes, Magic and Bird promoted the game from within because it was a rivalry and the dynasties, the battles in college and pros. MJ was the first singular name where they actually marketed. He basically made Nikes a basketball shoe. They weren't a basketball. They were track shoes before he got a hold of them. And then because they did the Like Mike and then McDonald's and blah, 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 people were always looking for the next MJ. The next person after that was Kobe. The next person after Kobe was LeBron. Now people are invoking these names with freaking Ant-Man. I mean, there's always going to be. So he set that standard, but it's also because his play on the court. But I see where you're coming from. I have no problem saying that LeBron's the second best player that I've ever seen. I mean, it's not an insult. Him and Kobe, I would be like right there together, and Kareem right there.
I think we got off track. Let's go back to Dan Hurley because we do have to get out of here soon. But I want to focus back on Dan Hurley. Appreciate the derailment from Dirty Ape Gangster. That was fun. Complete train crash there. But moving ahead, Dan Hurley. Now, do you think it's actually going to happen? And if it does happen, do you see it working out?
Yeah, I already said that. Yeah, I know we got a way off track, but so we got lost in the mix there. Yeah, I think it makes total sense, win-win, and I think he's going to take it sooner than later because he's going to go back out there for an interview, and they're going to offer him like an 8-year, at least a 5-year contract, at least.
So the Dan Hurley's Lakers, are they in playoff contention next year? Are they winning a championship in 3 years? What do you see?
I think that they won't be a championship. There's nothing they can do to be a championship team this year, no matter what. They'll be a playoff team, maybe win one round. I don't know. I think that is absolutely feasible that he could, if he commands the team and, and Anthony Davis, he has a good system in place for him. Yeah, I could see him being contenders in 3 years. Yeah. 3 years sounds about right.
Okay, and if that does happen, I think that's reasonable. And I don't know how I feel if I'm not going to speak to if he's going to accept it / is this legit and whatever. Like that's not what my focus is in all this. My focus is college coaches going to the pro level in general. Now, everyone can name the exceptions, but in general, a successful college coach has an adjustment period / they struggle when coaching pro. And so everyone is showing like the intensity of Dan Hurley in practice, especially. Smart guy now, but let's call it what it is. He would have to adjust how he tries to get across this message. More likely than not, unless the NBA players were to then adjust how they are coached typically as a professional. So something would have to give more likely than not. And the biggest obstacle that Dan Hurley would face is that kind of feeling. And this isn't just among players. This is amongst the staff, front office, other coaches of, yeah, but you're a college guy. So the successful coaches are able to overcome that. But in the back of the mind, you almost have to regain your pro coaching stripes. And so the really smart coaches are able to do that. But that's the case. That's always the case, and that's always nothing else subconsciously in the back of pro players' minds. Before you go, E-Rock, Dirty Ape Gangster is asking about your personal preferences in terms of like lasagna, I think, and then he wants to comment on KD's career, and he then says, "I don't want to push things too far." I think you've done that already, Dirty Ape Gangster. I think that ship has sailed. And then Jordan, more substantively, says, "I think it could work unless something goes wrong." Go ahead, E-Rock.
I like KD. I think he's really good. All right, that's what I think. That's all I got for that. On the comments of Dan Hurley, good player, good guy. Very, very tall, very skinny. All right, moving on. Dan Hurley. Here's the thing: he has a very well-respected basketball family. So it's not like he's not like most coaches that come into the league. Granted, Billy Donovan who was the previous coach, who actually he's really tight with. They both he won 2 championships consecutively. Well, he's the previous one to do it before him. And he went and he had success with the Thunder. Not as much as he wanted, but he had success nonetheless. Brad Stevens went from Butler, successful. But neither of those two, Dan didn't have the Bobby Hurley name, Dan Hurley, the other Hurleys. I mean, it's like they have a pedigree essentially. And Dan Hurley, he's going to command respect. I think this is just different when it comes to it, because they're going to give him a lot of power. They're not going to. He's going to have a GM in Rob Pelinka. But from what I heard, also Dan Hurley, to your point, he said like, yeah, it's different from college to pros. When Woj talked to him, apparently well before this ever came up, and he was talking about possibilities of NBA. He's like, well, it's like my son, you know. I'm not going to talk to my son that when you like I do now when he's 21, like when he was 10, or vice versa. I know it's a different kind of situation, atmosphere, but he's a smart guy. I think he'll easily, it's like when he went from high school to college, and then it's not like he went to a schmo program. He went to a freaking pretty much blue blood, whatever you would want to call it, Connecticut, but a pretty distinguished program. So I actually think this would be the best hire they could. This is the best hire that this would be the best hire of the offseason for any team for me if they got him.
And again, if Dan Hurley is successful, no one's going to be surprised. I'm just saying, warning of we all know me. I'm someone who enjoys being on the forefront. I'm just saying, for any college coach, I kind of want to see it before I believe it. More likely than not, it's an adjustment period, and it doesn't go well because they do have trouble adjusting. But Dan Hurley, smart guy. If anyone is going to know what to do, say, and control the room, and get the buy-in from everyone in a professional organization, it would be Dan Hurley. But let's just ease expectations on this one. We got to get out of here. We are over time. Go ahead, E-Rock. Finals picks. Anything else you'd like to plug, and anything you'd like to say to either Jordan or Dirty Ape Gangster on our way out?
I'll probably see Jordan, I'm assuming, here very soon on our show, on the Scoutcast Media Hub. Appreciate you, Ape Gangster. Word up. I'm probably going to change shirts before my show now.
Yeah, I would.
Feels kind of sullied now. Might have to wash it after this.
I have other ideas for that shirt now, but we'll discuss that after.
No. I like this shirt, but I'm gonna have to wash it with a wire brush now. So I'm gonna wire brush and some steel wool. So I've pretty much promoted everything, but Scoutcast Media,
Cool.
Scoutcast Media, shooting at 09. Catch y'all soon. And I'm outies.
Yeah, Iraq, I hope you're flattered, Dirty Ape Gangster. You're welcome back anytime. Appreciate the comments. I enjoy a good troll job more than anyone else. Keep it up, my guy. JC Ramos 617. You have some work cut out for you. You have been outdone today, sir. You need to step up your game now. I didn't think I'd have to say that, but Jordan Hinge coming.